What is up, my peoples? I don't know why I want to say that today. I just want to call you my peoples. I got a comment, a question. It was a comment. I get this question a lot. And I thought I'd just address this today because some of you know that I live in California, in sunny San Diego, California, instead of Florida. Actually, used to live in Florida. And I moved to California, and a lot of people say, why live in California instead of Florida? You know, and yeah, basically, you know, the arguments are like, you're going to pay more money in taxes. You've got a really liberal agenda in California. Like, the politics and government is not quite beneficial to a libertarian like yourself. So why do that? You know, Florida has sunshine and beaches, and it's awesome. And the cost of living is much lower. You can buy a house, you know, basically for a fifth of the price that you could buy in San Diego. So why live in California? I think I'm going to give you some logical and some philosophical answers to this question. Okay, in life, okay, you kind of have to decide, you know, whether sacrifices are worth them, right? There comes a point where you kind of have to decide, am I going to do what I want to do in my life? Or am I going to make sacrifices so that I can do what I want to do in my life? And the implications of these choices are very profound. It makes a huge difference in your life, whether you choose and how you choose these things, and when you choose these things, and under what topics, right? So, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're 20, and you're like, you know what? I just want to fucking party and have a good time. All right? So, you say, it's more important to me to live my life how I want to live my life than to sacrifice so I can live my life how I want to live my life later. I'd rather party on a small budget and sacrifice my future earning potential and possibly make some bad choices and not have a career and build a business or anything like that, and have a good time, and I'm willing to pay that price, okay, and make a sacrifice later. Okay, it'll be a bigger sacrifice later. Or you might say, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice now, and I'm willing to sacrifice a certain amount of my fun in order to build a career, to build a business, to work hard, right, to be able to do these things so that I can have a better life later, a much better life, exponentially better than what I'll enjoy now. When you get to my age, when you get old like me, all right, when you get up to some point in your life and you've made some money, and, you know, like in my case, I'm financially independent. I don't have to work. I can retire. You know, I basically have retired. Okay, I've got passive income. And I've got skills to be able to make more money. If I want to make money, I can make money. Okay, I know how to do these things, all right? I've got investments. You can keep on making the rational choice that will make you more money, and, you know, the analytical choice. Or you can say, you know what? Maybe it's worth the sacrifice of not making quite as much money, maybe paying a little bit more taxes, but having the kind of life that you want, living where you want to live. The worst kind of sacrifice to ever make in life is a continual sacrifice that never has a payoff, right? And you can do this, and it's very easy to fall into this rut where we're constantly sacrificing, and then we don't actually take the benefits of it. That's the philosophical answer. The philosophical answer is that it's pretty hard to argue that Southern California, you know, isn't an awesome place to live. The weather is fucking awesome, right? You know, just the activities, the environment. I can run on the beach every day. I live 6 blocks from the beach. I've got a really expensive house, of course, because it is expensive, and I have to pay a lot of taxes for that shit. When analyzing some of these decisions in life, you got to decide. You got to decide, you know, how valuable is what you want? What are you willing to do for it? When are you willing to sacrifice? And how long? And at some point, the sacrifice has to end. At some point, you have to adjust. At some point, you know, I have a video, it's a dated video on my $5 rule, okay? I've got a $20 rule now. If something is $20 or less, I don't even factor into my decision. I just spend $20 just like that. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to look at a coupon unless it's going to save me more than $20. I have a pretty big income, pretty big yearly income, all right? Now, actually, I'll just tell you, I'll just use my example. I make like $700-something thousand a year, okay? Let's suppose that I did not go to Starbucks every morning. I don't really go to Starbucks, but let's suppose that I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to save the money. Saving that money, right? Let's say it's $2,000 a year. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not going to make a dent. It's not gonna make it big. It's not gonna make any kind of, like, I'm gonna make a sacrifice that's unnecessary. If I never want to cook again, which I don't, so I just go and buy food and it costs me $20 or $30 a meal, you know, every time, big fucking deal. Doesn't matter. Now, if I were making, and there was time when I was making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, okay, then an extra $2,000 a year makes a huge difference. So my point is that the utility of, if I were to like save and scrimp and live in Florida, okay, and I don't really like the weather, I don't really like some of the people there, like at least where I was at, you know, I don't like the environment, I don't like the bugs. If I were to go to a place that I don't, or stay at a place that I don't really like, and not go to this place that I do love, that money that I'd be saving, the utility of that money. You know, I pay like $50,000 or $60,000 a year in California taxes, state taxes, for living here, plus some property tax, so it's probably more than that. But let's say $50,000 or $60,000. That, what I can do with that money, okay, it doesn't have as much utility. If I were only making $50,000 a year, it would have a huge amount of utility. But with the amount of money that I'm making, it doesn't have as much utility to make that sacrifice. The funny thing about this is, since I moved to California, I bought the property that I'm living in for $760,000, and that was 2 years ago, and now it's worth $1 million. So whatever I paid in property in state income tax, I've more than made up. It's really hard to convey this idea of the utility value of money and how that changes over time. Because see, the advice that I give to people financially, it depends on them, right? When I have coaching clients, first thing I ask them is how much money they make, because that's going to determine how I'm going to tell them what they should sacrifice or not sacrifice. And a lot of people have this wrong. There's other people on the other end of the spectrum that are living like big fucking high rollers. Okay, and they need to be saving coupons, and they need to be eating ramen, you know, noodles and beans and rice and shit, and really like saving money, because the utility value of that money is super fucking high. You need to understand that it's not just the black or white; it's a spectrum, and it depends on where you are. So there you go. There's my essay on why I'm living in California. And then I might change that in the future as I figure out how I can utilize that money better to invest. I haven't been going through an investing period, but if I might start investing in real estate again, then I'm going to want to, you know, perhaps save that money, and maybe I'll move to Nevada or something like that, and take that money, and maybe I'm getting sick of the beach too. I don't know. You know, we'll see. As the needs change, as things change, that possibility, you know, what makes sense changes. So I'm not just going to stick to one decision. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you have survived this long, make sure you click the subscribe button, because obviously you like me. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.